In this video, we're going to talk about how you can protect your computer from all the bad guys and bad things that can happen to it. One of the things you can do is to have good maintenance, right? And the most important thing is to back up your data. There's a lot of things that can happen that could cause your data to be lost, and we don't want that. So be sure to back it up. Good idea to have at least 2 copies of every file you have. Okay, at least 2 copies. It's a good idea also to clean your disk every once in a while. Yes, we have very large disks, very large hard drives in our systems nowadays, but it does get to be piled up sometimes, and once in a while it'd be good to go through there and just make sure that there's, get rid of all the unnecessary files that you don't need anymore. And the textbook recommends that you do what's called a disk defragmenting, which you really don't need to do anymore. So let's cross that off the list. The operating systems nowadays are so good. They take care of that by themselves, so we don't have to worry about that. And let me just ask you something here. Let's have a poll. Have you backed up your data on your computer in the last month? Okay. What you want to do is just click on that link below there and see if just click on that link. It'll take you to a nice little Google form, and just answer the question there. We'll take a look at the results and see just how good you are. Okay. Now, if we look at everybody, it's not very good. Only about 24% of the people out there actually back up their data at least once a month. Okay, that's not really good. There's that other 76% are just waiting for problems to happen, and they will happen. It will happen. They've actually come up with a day. It's World Backup Day, which is April 1st. And so a good idea to back up your data. In fact, do it before April 1st. In fact, I would say do it right now. If you have nothing else to do, just do it. It's a good idea. Because you don't want to lose any data. It's very, very painful to do. There's a couple of different strategies you could use. Number one is you could do a complete strategy. Just get an external hard drive. Go down to Staples, get something about $79. It has software on it. It shows you how to back up your system, and just install the software and go. The software, in a lot of cases, is not that good, but it's better than nothing. And so it's one good thing to do. Another way to do is just go real cheap. You can go onto the cloud. There's a system called iDrive, which will back up 5 gigabytes of your data for free, which is good. I mean, that's 5 gigabytes that's a lot of data still. So, and all your important stuff put into a particular folder and just back that up onto iDrive. And that's good. It backs it up in the cloud, so it's protected from any bad things that happen at your house. It's going to be up in the cloud. And another way to do it is a quick way is just go to Staples, get a large USB drive, okay, a large 64 gigabytes, 128 gigabytes. They sell for about $20, $30, and they're big, and they're small little thumb drives, and just plug it in there and just copy the data over there. It works really nicely. There's a program called EaseUS to do backup, which is free, and it works pretty good, so it's a good thing to do. So do it as soon as you can, because you don't want to lose data. It happens. Now, if something really goes bad with your computer, okay, what you do is system recovery. It's a good idea to prepare for this beforehand by setting up restore points every once in a while. Every few months, you set a restore point, and it's a kind of a complicated process. But if you go onto Google or YouTube and just ask about it, there'll be someone who shows you how to do it. Another good thing you could do is create a recovery disk, either on a DVD or a USB flash drive or a thumb drive. Okay, and that's a good way. If something really goes bad, you can always restart your computer with that. And finally, if something really, really goes bad, you can just restore your computer back to the original factory condition. Now, you don't want to do that unless you have to, because you're going to lose all of your data, all of your programs. You're going to have to reinstall all your programs. Hopefully, you backed up your data beforehand, so you can then just reinstall the data from your backup drive, and it won't be too bad. But still, that's a process that takes many, many hours, and hopefully you will never need to do that. Now, what kinds of stuff can bother us? Well, there's a lot of things. There's a whole class of software called malware. Okay, this is malicious software. And basically, there's a whole different types, many, many different types. There's viruses, there's worms, Okay, the spyware, ransomware, and hackers in general, just people, and all these things are just basically out there to get us. And we have to be really careful to protect ourselves because there's so many things out there that are just trying to cause problems for us. Okay. And basically, there's a thing called cybercrime, which basically is any criminal activity done with a computer. And there's lots of different things. We'll talk about that in about 2 weeks. Okay, good. Let's just take a little poll here. Have you ever personally been victimized by a computer hacker or malware or virus of some type? Okay, just click on the link below there and just let us know if you've had a problem. Just curious to see how many of you have been affected by this. Okay. Now, how can you protect yourself? Okay, key thing is to have some kind of antivirus software. And basically, this software just protects your system, keeps viruses from being installed on your system. Now, in the old days, we had to go out and get this software, sometimes pay for it. And we really don't need it anymore. Windows has finally developed the capability of protecting itself to a large degree. So we don't need this kind of software too much anymore. But some people still prefer it. So they want that extra protection, but it's really not something that most people actually need anymore. Another thing to protect yourself is to have a firewall. The firewall keeps worms, this malicious software called worms, from coming onto your system. And again, in the old days, we actually had to go out and get that as a system, as a utility, but we don't need it anymore. The Windows operating system is finally matured to the extent that Microsoft decided, hey, let's put a nice firewall into the system, and sure enough, they did, which works pretty good. So we don't have to worry about that too much. But if you have an older system, you might consider it. Okay. If you have a firewall, it's a good idea. Even if the one that Windows has, you can test it. You can go to this site, grc.com/shields-up. It's a really nice site. You can go there and it'll go through and look through all the vulnerabilities on your computer and see if there's something that is left open. And anyways, it's a nice and simple, easy thing to do. And if you find something wrong, you might want to do something about it. Okay, so here we go. Another thing is phishing attacks. Phishing is where you get a message that's pretending to be something else. It's trying to fool you into giving away your social security number or your credit card number or your passwords for your bank account. And they come in all different types, and they're always trying to fool you. You've probably gotten phone calls like this too, saying that the sheriff is on this way to arrest you or something. It's you can take any kind of message you get like that, just take it with a grain of salt. Don't believe it necessarily. Okay, just check it, make sure it's okay. And then Trojan horses, which is basically software that seems to be good, but it's not. It's pretending it's good. And it's actually, maybe you might get a message saying, hey, click here to install this free program that will remove all the viruses on your computer. Well, it's not going to remove all the viruses. In fact, it will install a virus on your computer. So just be very wary about that. So just the key thing to remember, the bad guys, they don't get dumber every day. They get smarter and smarter every day. So what that means is that we too have to get smarter and smarter every day. We always have to be a little bit aware, a little bit smarter than they are, so we can protect ourselves. Okay, so now what's there's a vital tool for both computers and us, and we'll talk about that in our next video.